What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and this is I'm doing my top 10 favorite series that I have made on this channel all time. This is as of April of 2021. Now, I'm going to say just right now that I'm going to give a bit of a trigger warning because some of these I know are going to be controversial. These are just my opinions. Feel free to leave your list in the comments below if you would like. And I'm gonna kind of give a brief overview of why I like the series so much and, what makes it where it is and everything. And, yeah, so let's start off the list. Kicking off this list at number 10, we have Slender: The Arrival. Now, this is gonna be in the top 10 of most lists involving games for me. I just love Slender, and, I don't give it a lot of credit. I ended up actually redoing, a few episodes of it at some point in time, just because, it's such an old series, and I wanted to try and improve on it a little bit. Because I think that, again, it doesn't get the credit, really, that I feel like it deserves. I feel like a lot of these series on here are going to be that way, because a lot of my personal favorites are not fan favorites based on the context of this channel. But Slender is probably the scariest game I might have ever played. It's just, in my opinion, it's a true horror game, and I love horror games. You're going to see a few on this list. I think 3. So this will be one of 3 or 4, I think. No, it's going to be at least 4. I guess it depends on what you consider a horror game. But just the way that they managed to make this game as creepy as it is. I've already talked about this in the top 10 favorite games list, which is incredible. And this game scared me so much, and I loved recording it, even though it wasn't really a huge hit. But granted, my channel wasn't popular at the time. But, yeah, just great game in my opinion, and just, it was definitely a good old classic horror game, and it was great. Next up at number 9, we have The Inner Friend. Now, this was the most forgotten series of mine. I was looking kind of through, and I just all of a sudden remembered, and I was like, you know what? I really enjoyed that. Another one that didn't seem to do very well, and I don't know, this was another horror game, another really good horror game, in my opinion. And this one was the mistake that I was trying to avoid when I uploaded so many Little Nightmares 2 videos, of this becoming so late compared to when the game came out that it becomes irrelevant. That's why Little Nightmares 2, I just pretty much speedran it. But, yeah, The Inner Friend was just weird. It was fun. I don't remember if I had this on my top 10 games. I don't think I did, because I think I was just kind of, finishing it. And I didn't really, have the confidence to put it in there. Also, if you see the stream icon at any point in the top right-hand corner, it's because I was streaming at this time. So I don't get confused by that. But, yeah, I just love Inner Friend. They made a very weird game, and it wasn't, super creepy or anything. It was just good. They just made everything kind of weird and just off, which I enjoy in games usually. I enjoy, a little bit of just abnormal, and this game brought a lot of that.
Oh, flying chairs.
If you haven't really seen any of these series, I would recommend checking out at least this one, because this one was, really... I think this was, the first horror game that I ever really put... Well, Slender and FNAF, I guess, before. But, this was kind of the horror game that I forgot about the most until I looked back at it, and I was like, that was a really good game. So, yeah. Next up at number 8, we have Update Aquatic Survival. Now, this one's only on here because of how old it is. This was really what kind of started, this is one of the, probably the first Minecraft series. And to have it still going, I want to say I didn't even have 100 subscribers when it started. I was probably around, 50? This series has outlasted so much, and it's seen so much change around my channel, and it's just, I don't know, it's such a classic to have, and I only really put it here just because of how old it is and how much I really do enjoy recording it. It's just, I don't know, it's a series that is kind of, it's the most inconsistent, I feel like, as far as how it's doing is concerned, but, yeah, just great series overall, and, yeah. At the number 7 spot, we have Minecraft Story Mode. This is one of the oldest series, actually. This one was very, very old. But I really enjoyed this one. It wasn't really one that I, look back at a lot, and I don't think about this one a lot, honestly. I really forgot about most of these until I was looking back and what's some good ones for this list? And this was one that I saw, and I was like, oh yeah, this was a really good series. I really like this. This was one of the first that ended as well. It's kind of funny, but yeah, both games are great in my opinion. And it was just, I don't know, it was a fun series to record. It was fun for a lot of things. This one I think is a little bit more recent than Update Aquatic. But yeah, I definitely enjoy the games, and I like the story aspect of it, because there's not a ton of games, I feel like, that have the story aspect, especially with a Minecraft-related game. I think they did a good job with this, and yeah. Next up, the number 6 spot, which is going to be the biggest surprise of all of them to most people. We have the Hello Neighbor Minecraft series. Now, this is basically all the Hello Neighbor Minecraft-related builds that I have ever built. And, yeah, now the reason this one is so low, I think that's one that's going to be more surprising than this just being on here, is that it's a lot of things. I've talked about this in the last 2 Act 3 Let's Build episodes, so if you want more detail on it, go to that episode, because I'm not going to get into it, because I talked about it for pretty much 40 minutes, and I think it was the last 2. I know it was at least the last one, and there was a different episode that I talked about it in. But just, I don't know. I think that the builds are good, but there's certain aspects of it that I'm not happy with. They're too small, usually, and it's the way I build. I'm trying to improve on that with the Let's Build Little Nightmares 2 in Minecraft. But, I don't know, it's just it's a stressful series at sometimes, and it's really fun to build them, but I don't get the results that I like. And I've had a few people say that, yeah, they are too small, and I agree with it. I completely agree with you. But the way I build, it's hard, and I don't really want to have to remake all those houses. Maybe if I end up making the Secret Neighbor house, then I would consider making it, I would try to make it at a bigger scale. But I don't know, it's a hard series, and I do enjoy making them, don't get me wrong. And again, if you want more detail on it, go to the Act 3 last episodes, because I talk about it a lot in there. But yeah. Sneaking into the number 5 spot, we have the NHL video game series. Now, this one is also going to be controversial. This was probably one of the least popular series ever on my channel. But it's what I started with, which I think is, obviously it didn't really carry me anywhere. But 2017, 2018, this was all I was doing. At the end, 2018 was when Minecraft started creeping up, and that's kind of taken over just a little bit. But yeah, NHL was what really, my channel originated off of, other than the cringy videos, but that's not important. But, I don't know, this has a special place in my heart, because it's really what I started with. That was, I think, the first time that I ever put on a microphone and started talking to people. And it's just, I don't know, just for that, I think that it's great. And it's always fun. It's frustrating, but it's fun, and I enjoy it. And that's what counts. But I'm unfortunately going to be stopping it if you have not heard of that, because it just hasn't really hit where I want it to hit. But, yeah, it was a great series, and I would like to bring it back on a different channel someday. So, yeah. Taking the number 4 spot, we have the Five Nights at Freddy's series. FNAF has really been a more recent one on my channel. FNAF VR I played a while back when it first came out. I remember that. That was so fun. But, FNAF really hasn't been, I think that it was the one that I was most surprised that it's done how it has. It's been pretty good, other than Sister Location Episode 1, but that's because that came out at, 6, and so far I've had to put up 2 videos on Fridays, or later on Fridays, and they haven't done good. So I don't think there's anything to do with that, but just, I don't know, FNAF is always a fun one for me to play, and, I talked about the funny thing about FNAF in my last Sister Location, tutorial part, which is part 2. You've probably already seen part 3 at this point, or it's already been uploaded at least, but I'm trying to play through all the games, and I'm really excited for Security Breach to come out. I think that's the one that I'm most excited for out of all of the games, honestly, but I don't know, I've always loved FNAF. I think that it died for me for a while, to be honest, but it's resurged pretty well, and it's always a good, scary, good horror game to have, and I'm interested where Security Breach and other games will take it. Kicking off the top 3, we have Hello Neighbor. Hello Neighbor always has been kind of what has dominated my channel in a way. It's really the first series that did really well for me. And obviously it was a good game. I loved the game, but I don't know. It wasn't like, obviously it was frustrating at times, that's for sure. But I don't know, I just very much so remember this one as one of those that, like, whenever I look at my channel, I always am like, Hello Neighbor, that was a big one for me. And obviously, like, it's not a huge, I don't know, it's not, like, my favorite game or anything. I'd say it's in top 10, but, I don't know, certain aspects of it are only okay, but the game is fun. I've played through it multiple times. I used to like it more than I do now. Not that I don't hate it, but it's just, I don't know. It's kind of fallen off a little bit for me as far as how much I like it. But I'm really excited for Secret Neighbor. And, because you'll probably be seeing, I will ideally post a video about that pretty shortly after it's released. But, yeah, I'm happy that they're making another game after Secret Neighbor. And, I don't know, it's a fun series. At number 2, no surprise here, we have Little Nightmares 2. Now, I absolutely love this game. I was originally going to put this at number 1, but I figured, you know, obviously that's gonna create even more controversy. Plus, it didn't do the greatest, so I was a little unhappy about that. But this was one that I always wanted to record. Like, I would always be like, you know what, I want to record this. And I just wanted to power through the game. It was a great game. One of my favorite games, honestly. It would probably be in the top 3 of my top 10 games. But they did such an amazing job on this game, and I made a separate video, which you probably will have seen today, on this game and how much, like, basically a review on it and what I think about it. But, like, I could just go on for hours about every little detail and what I think about the game. All the characters are amazing, just this thing, and the general, like, scenery and everything, I think, is phenomenal, and I love it, and I really hope they make a third game, because I would enjoy that. Again, unfortunately, it didn't do very good, but it seems that certain horror games, certain styles of games don't really do the best, which is fine, but, you know, sometimes it can be a little frustrating. But, nevertheless, great game, great series, and I had a ton of fun recording this. At the number 1 spot for my favorite series as of 2021 April, we have Minecraft Let's Builds, which is excluding the Hello Neighbor stuff, because I decided to do these separately because of, well, they are separate, because Minecraft Let's Builds has so much more to it, as you can see. I don't know which one you're going to be seeing right now, but all of these have been great fun to build. I actually did have a Let's Build, which is long lost, and I completely forgot about it. It was Let's Build a Town. I just decided I didn't want to do it anymore. But some of these Let's Builds have been difficult, but they're always fun. I love building in Minecraft. It's one of my favorite things to do in the game. It is my favorite thing to do in the game. Just, I don't know. Especially the Little Nightmares 2 one. That's been a blast to make. It's a little bit of everything, to be honest. But I couldn't rank anything above this just because this is really what kind of is... I like to consider this the biggest series on my channel, excluding tutorials. Now, tutorials are not on this list because they're so general. Like, obviously, this is general, but this scales it down enough for me to be able to include this as its own thing. But, I don't know, I love this series, and it's been really fun, and, yeah, it's really all I have to say. And I want to continue them for a while. Obviously, I have the Modern House, and I want to continue beyond that point. So, yeah. Alright, so that's all I have to show for this video. If you have personal top 10 lists of my series, you can feel free to leave them in the comments if you'd like. All these have been amazing to make, and I would love to continue these for as long as I physically can. They're all amazing series, and I love them all, which is why they're on this list. And, yeah. Thank you so much for if you guys did enjoy this video. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.